Who's ready for some fun? Let's rip apart this video or this article, shall we? It's fun. I love doing this stuff. All right, so here's Market Watch, dateline December 14th, 2019. Here's proof that 401k plans are not working for most Americans. Oh no, here's proof, not proof. Can you guess who they are working for? I bet it's going to be the rich, those evil rich. Oh, we hate the rich. And then we got a picture of an old guy in that kind of top hat, whatever it's called. Without Social Security, 54% of Kentucky seniors are in poverty. I don't get what this has to do with that other than just being clickbait, because here's proof that 401k plans are not working for most people. Without Social Security, 54% of Kentucky seniors are in poverty. All right. Anyway, here's Sean Langlois. It's funny because I just did some research on Sean briefly. Yeah, he's definitely from the left for sure. I don't even call it. Look, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. But when you're editorializing, just make it an editorial. And this doesn't come across like an editorial, even though it is. What I mean is it's not stated as such. And if you're going to editorialize, that's fine. Maybe Market Watch is editorializing. I don't know, but I don't know that to be true. I know Forbes magazines, those are editorials when they write in the Forbes, all these various authors have a platform in Forbes. I don't think that's the same thing here. But anyway, let's go down to it. So these golden years aren't looking so golden for most Americans. Declarative statement, not based in fact. Clearly, the country is in the midst of a savings crisis as families struggle to cover home costs, student loan payments, and everything in between. Declarative statement, not based in fact. Again, and it seems only getting worse. Declarative statement, not based in fact, editorializing. See what I'm saying? So look, if it's an editorial, you can state this. It's wrong, but you can state it. If it's a news piece, it's declarative, and it's just not based in fact. All right. Now, here's what ticks me off, and is why I want to do this article video. The Economic Policy Institute, a nonprofit, nonpartisan think tank, this week published a series of charts that paint a picture of an increasingly inadequate retirement savings for successive generations of Americans, and large disparities by income, race, ethnicity, education, marital status. The idea that the EPI is a nonpartisan think tank, either my man Sean here is ignorant or he's hiding the truth. And I in this case, I assume he's ignorant. I have to, because most just look at what Ben Rhodes said about journalism. He says they basically know nothing. We tell them what to say, and they basically do. That's not Obama. I mean, that's not Trump's guy. That was Obama's guy. His national security advisor, or something like that, he said the journalists say are basically 27 years old who have no experience at all, and they know nothing. And that's what I would absolutely subscribe to Sean here. I don't know the guy, no antipathy towards him, but let's take a look at what the EPI is. So first of all, I am on the EPI email list. And the reason I am, because I have to see from where the left is coming. To be able to advocate for your freedom mentality, you have to understand what the arguments are on the other side. Now, this is a difference between critical thinkers today. Most of us are on the right or libertarian right and the left, because the left has just been brainwashed. They're brainwashed, and they don't have critical thought. So they've never heard an argument that goes against what they've been brainwashed to believe. Look, this is, 30, 40 years ago, is the same thing with Christianity. C.S. Lewis said in the 1930s that Christianity was the church was the biggest negative on Christianity. And the reason for that is, I don't know, but it says in the Bible. Now, that's not the right answer. People have legit questions, and you have to have an answer. That doesn't mean you have to have a no. It just means you have to say, I'm not sure. Let's look into it. But just saying it's the Bible, that tells us all. No, you got to be more than that. So anyway, let's look at the EPI. All right, so let's take a gander, shall we? The Economic Policy Institute. Now, what we'll do first and foremost, let's see if she is still up there. They had a tweet that they forwarded, and a couple days ago. It was from Ilhan Omar. I guess it's a couple days ago. And anyway, no one who's nonpartisan is going to forward a tweet from Ilhan Omar, and they, I guess it's on here someplace. I'm not going to spend all your time looking for it. All right, so here, Economic Policy Institute is, again, nonpartisan, nonprofit. A short list of companies who pay 0 or less in federal income tax The whole thing is just corrupt, man. Just because they paid less in federal income tax, could there be a reason for that? And the answer is, of course, there is. Labor is the biggest cost. You get to write off labor. Yeah, R&D you get to deduct. So these guys kiss my butt. And don't forget, the EPI, how much does the EPI pay in federal income tax? Nothing. EPI pay nothing. Why? Because they're nonprofit. So kiss my butt. It's just freaking nuts, man. California nurses union busing is wrong, is disgusting. So basically what this is, the EPI is all about big labor, big unions. Let's see here. Racialized women's unrecognized community work uplifts everybody. The whole thing is just, it's virtue signaling. I can't take it, man. I want to show you something if I can find it. It's been a couple days since I looked at their website. I can't. Analysis claiming that taxes on millionaires and billionaires with slow economic growth are fundamentally flawed. Okay, so anyway, at the end of the day, I don't care. These guys are left. Let's look at, I want to see about, let's look at the board of directors first. Let's see who they are. Richard Trumka as the chairman of the EPI. That's a nonpartisan. Julian Malveaux. You might not know her, but she's a writer at USA Today and Washington Post, a big lib. Probably right out of the gate, socialist. Trumka, Malveaux, I'm not sure who Nita Vanks is, but she's a affiliated faculty in the Women's and Gender Studies. Okay, that's always going to help us here. Let's see. I don't know who Baum is. All right, let's see. I'm not sure who is. Not sure who. This guy is another professor, Ernesto. Hey, Keith Ellison! These are Hamas terrorist supporters, this guy. Keith Ellison. Let's see. Jeff Foe, there you go, Foe. He's a founding member of the EPI. There's another guy who's a founding member, too. Workers' Defense Project. There's Teresa. There she is. She shows up everywhere, this lady. Teresa Ghilarducci. I got to pronounce her name right because I keep thinking about that chocolate company. So basically, if there's anything from the far left, you can see Teresa on there. I don't know why they, like Consuelo Mack does say, hey, Teresa, I notice you're coming from the far left. Their far left is pro-union, not even workers' rights, because workers' rights are absolutely 401ks, pro-government, pro-restriction, as you stated in your video with Consuelo Mack, about employees' ability to access their own money before retirement. Crazy, man. And if it's from the left and Teresa Ghilarducci is on it, it's just, look, man, you need to listen to what they're saying because you need to make the arguments because most people are sheep and they're not going to listen. They're going to hear what Teresa says because she will be getting the mic because the mic with Julianne Malveaux, they're the news people, and they have the mic. Our side does not, which is why it's amazing that YouTube is still allowing this to happen. I don't know any of these. Alexis Herman, yes, yeah, I remember her. Yep, the Secretary of Labor under Clinton. Let's see. Yeah, but there's Kuttner right there, American Prospect. Yep, there he is. Let's see. I want to see my man, Lisa Lynch, Ray Marshall. Where is my man? Right here, Robert Reich. Yep, right there. So this is not nonpartisan. Which Randy AFT, Randy Weingarten. What did she say? She said something that was blatantly discriminatory during the last election. I forgot what it was, but it was bad. I was surprised she was able to retain her thing there because that was bad. These guys are not nonpartisan, my friends. EPI is far left wing. That's all there is to it. I'm just trying to see if I recognize any of these other people from the left. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, so I'm sure we could find a development. Look at that. You guys are so far left. And look, I don't care, but let's not. Why are we Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, Retirement Security Project, Director of Retirement Security. Wasn't she the wife of the governor of Maryland or something? She's big in Maryland. I forgot who she was. She was the wife of the governor of Maryland or something like that. I can't just lefties, just rich people, rich lefties. All these guys are. Anyway, so let's go back to what our man Sean Langlois says. All right, you know what else I want to show? I want to show you something. You're going to get a kick out of this. So let me pause it real quick. I'm under opensecrets.org. I want to see what look, Teresa's on my mind lately just because I find her to be the problem that we have to contend with some of. Anytime there's a policy for more government and less freedom, she's on it in terms of financial planning, the retirement crisis and whatnot. So I just took a gander and I said, what did old Teresa give? How will she give to various political candidates? Because remember, nonpartisan, right? So let's take a gander, shall we? Look, I'll say something in a second. She's big on Joe Donnelly. That was weird to me. Now, I don't know what's going on with Joe Donnelly. I mean, look, Teresa came from Notre Dame. And when Joe Donnelly, so what happened is, the only thing I can attest is we had Jill DeLong Thompson in 2002. I'm sure that's a Democratic congressman or woman from Teresa's district at South Bend. And then later on, Donnelly took over. And then in 2010, he became a senator. Look at all these donations to Donnelly. It's weird, man. Now, Teresa used to be at South Bend, but now she's in New York. So she's been active in her local community politics. And look, that's fine. You have an absolute right to do that. I got no qualm at all. But again, the idea they're nonpartisan. But watch this. You think that's bad? Who did she give else? Oh, Barack, $250 in 2008, and Hillary, $750. But look at how much money she gave to Donnelly. It's just weird, $1,000. I mean, it's just odd to me. And then Donnelly lost last year, thankfully. The irony of it all is I looked up to see how much Donnelly, what he had done for Notre Dame. And I did a quick DuckDuckGo search, and I came up with he had secured funding for various programs at Notre Dame through the federal government, which happens to be where Teresa was working at. I mean, so is there quid pro quo there? Of course there is, man. We're going to scratch your back, Joe. We're going to work for you, and then you secure funding for our university, the whole thing anyway. So Donnelly was able to secure a grant for like $258,000 to something called the Robinson Policy Center. I have no idea what it is. And that was just the first thing that came up. I just said, yep, there you go. So Teresa supports her local people, whatever. The local people go to Congress. The congressmen then turn around and they say, oh, we're going to bring back the bacon to give to that university for which you work that supports me. And the whole thing's so corrupt. And now what does Teresa do? She goes out there saying that you, Josh, should not have the right to have access to your 401k before you're at retirement age in order to start your business. We're going to pass a law. Her words, not mine. We are going to pass a law to make it illegal for you to have access to your 401k before retirement. Crazy. All right, so let's keep going back. So, and like, you can go to opensecrets.org and see all these guys if you want. I mean, as I've done before. Let's look at your old buddy Josh Scanlon. I'll show you. And you got me. I gave to Ted Cruz $250 in 2013 when I lived when I worked at USA, and I will be donating to Trump here come 2020 as well. Just FYI. So unsubscribe now. Because someone's got to fight the left. And no one else is doing it. It certainly wasn't Jeb Bush. Certainly wasn't John McCain or Mitt Romney. The left is encroaching forever on us, our ability to live in freedom. Look, the right isn't perfect, but the left is far worse. That's for sure. As we sit here today, just listen to the words of what they say. It wasn't me on the Consuela Max show who said we should pass laws to make it illegal for people to have access to the retirement money before they hit retirement age. That was Teresa. That was posted 3 days ago. Nuts. All right, so let's keep going back to what old Sean says here. Again, the nonpartisan, just silliness. All right, so here we go. The gap is always the haves and have-nots. Man, the have and have-nots, take out California, New York, and Massachusetts, probably even Illinois, and I guarantee the gap shrinks quite a bit because those are where the huge haves and have-nots are, which happen to also be the elite where most of those liberals live for sure. In the middle of America, there's not as huge gap between the haves and have-nots at all. Come down to Tennessee, I guarantee you the gap is small, absolutely. All right, so I don't care about that. But let's see, so this is what ticks me off. With almost half of all working age families have zero in retirement savings. The fact that the median family has only $7,800 in these accounts shouldn't come as any surprise. All right, so let me lay this down for you. We're going to set up the pins, then we're going to bowl it and knock it over. With almost half of all working age families with zero in retirement savings, the fact that median family had only $7,800 in retirement accounts should not come as a surprise. What does that tell you? All right, what it should tell you is, oh my goodness, only half don't have anything? Well, what if we took away the people like my daughter, Maddie, who's working retail 20 hours a week while she's on Christmas break? That is a working age person. She has no money in her IRA or 401k. And retirement savings, not savings either, not brokerage accounts, retirement savings, not 529 plans, retirement savings. So what we would need to do, especially if we follow the next sentence, we compare at the same time, the 90th percentile family had 320,000 so basically the 90th percentile family. You know why? Because the 90th percentile family in mass are going to be probably between 50 and 60, maybe 50 and 65. The 10th percentile, I guarantee you the vast majority of them are under the age of 22 years old, but probably even under the age of 30. So let's say there's old Josh. He just graduated college. I was 26 years old. 26 years old. I served 4 years in the infantry. Just graduated college. No clue what I was going to do in my life. I had all kinds of different jobs trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I wasn't saving any money. Does that mean there's a retirement crisis in America? No, because I'm just starting out. Still have student loan debt. Yeah, I had the GI Bill, but I spent it on beer half the time. Still have student loan debt. Still had a place to get a rent. Charlotte and I ultimately bought a house. Ultimately started saving money, but it wasn't much. It was never much right out the gate. It's going to take a while for it to get much. So if you really think about retirement crisis, you shouldn't look at the people 30 years and younger. I would even say look at the people 40 and older. And it's funny, if you look at the Consuela Mack video she did, and I'll put a link in the show notes, Teresa says, we want to focus on the people between 50 and 64. All right, so let's do that. Let's look at the people between 50 and 64. What's their median retirement account? Interesting, huh? Yeah, that's freaking. They know this. They know this. And yet, Consuela said, there is a retirement crisis with the vast majority of Americans. See how you can manipulate the numbers is crazy. All right, so the huge disparity here is just by age. Is age. I mean, I guarantee if you look at someone who's 60 years old versus someone who's 30 years old, or hell, someone who's 20 years old, the person who's 60 years old has a hell of a lot of money in their retirement account more than the other person. Time value money, compounding interest. This should not be rocket science. All right, retirement account savings are inadequate and unequal, always but unequal, because socialism, they love everything equal. We're all equally miserable, except for the guys at the top, the Richard Trumkas, the Teresas of the world, the Julianne Malveaus. They'll be the one dictating. They'll have their little dachas in the, what's the place in Russia where all the commies had their dachas, the sea, Caspian Sea or whatever it's called. They'll all have their dachas, but everybody else will be equally miserable for sure. The retirement system does not work for most workers, says Monique Morrissey, which was, EPI's Monique Morrissey wrote. Decades after the number of active participants in 401k style plans edge out those in traditional pensions, 401ks are not delivering substantial income retirement, and that income is not equally shared. Yeah, okay. So at the end, look, the message was deleted. Wow, who's deleting that? But anyway, so they're trying to say is, I think that, but I don't think I could put comments. I think I got to register. So if any of y'all are registered in Market Watch, go ahead and put some comments in here. The whole thing, these guys are corrupt as could be. I do believe that. I think they know. They just don't want to let you know. They want to manipulate the truth, so you get fearful. They start spreading this idea of retirement crisis, so you turn to Big Daddy government. They know this. It's the same thing with the climate change scaremongers. They know they manipulate the data. We have proof of that with the climate gate, with the hide the decline. We know the hockey stick is corrupted. We know that for a fact. We also know for a fact that you can make, what does they say? Torture the numbers enough, it'll confess to anything. That's exactly what's happening here. But to be guilty by omission, by stating these guys are non-Protestant, partisan is it's a lie, or it's a neglect, or it's ignorance. None of them are correct. And I just think it's funny how the EPI said we're non-profit, and then they get mad at the corporations that didn't pay tax while they don't. It's all fake. All right, we'll see you.